Hello everyone, my name is Griffin and we are back with another reaction video. We are reacting to a video that is called E-Girls who ruined their career in seconds. Now, a lot of these E-Girls I don't really feel too bad for because, well, they have decided to be stupid and ruin themselves. So, through no fault of their own, they fucked up. With that being said, let's get right into the video and see how this goes, shall we?
These e-girl streamers weren't the same after just one incident, whether it's faking a kidnapping or straight up scamming your audience.
You see, if you're faking something like a kidnapping or scamming your audience, faking something, or it's, you know what, and you get caught in it, you really have nobody to blame but yourself. You could have avoided all of that just by being truthful and not being a dumbass.
My name is Pepezilla, and today we'll be talking about 3 Russian female streamers who ruined their career in seconds. Starting with Smikalka. Smikalka's streams didn't rely on classic e-girl model, known as booba equals good. She actually had a pretty cool personality. Whether it was falling from chair, talking to chat, playing CS, people loved her. She was just a normal girl who didn't pretend to be something she is not. And
dude, she doesn't even, it is scary for how young women look. Dude, she looks like she's 14.
that's what made her unique at the time. Everything was going great for Smikalichka. She had a good name among other streamers, viewer count was growing, and you know, her career seemed to be going pretty well. Of course, that would soon change and her viewers would realize she's not as cute and innocent as everyone thought. One feral evening, Smikalka turned on the stream and viewers were greeted with a face full of tears and fear in her eyes while she was begging people for help. She explained how her mother was scammed and that she might go to jail for a flippin' 25 years, unless Smikalka somehow scrambles $500,000 rubles to get a lawyer, so her mother could fight against the scam. $500,000 rubles at the time was around $8,000, which doesn't seem like much, but for average Russian citizen that's quite a lot. Regardless, that seemed to be no problem for her audience. She receives a lot of donations from her fans, and even other big creators tuned in to help her out.
Сегодня я наткнулся на такую, блядь, историю. Вот у нее маму хотят в тюрьму посадить на 25 лет. Бля, ну такие вещи надо помогать, пацаны, типа, не так важно подавать просто стримеру, знаешь, на фане, типа, как помочь человеку с какой-то бедой.
Сейчас я собираю деньги на адвоката, на вот.
Да.
Мы как сделаем? Или мой друг подъедет, или же мы с другом подъедем, ну, скорее всего, может быть, завтра. Хорошо? Договорились?
Да, хорошо.
She received total of 600k rubles, which was even beyond the sum she even needed. Everyone felt sad for Smikalka. Like, come on, cute pretty girl done wrong? That cannot be. While majority of people didn't even question the whole situation, others didn't really buy it. And when they were asking questions in chat, they were instantly banned.
Yeah, I ban him. I ban him.
That's kind of a weird response when asking for a...
See, here's the thing. You cannot always take what people say at face value when it comes to streamers and content creators, because there are plenty of them out there, you know, English speaking or not, that'll try and scam their audience out of money, and they won't bat an eye doing it. They'll turn on the crocodile tears, they'll do whatever they can to try and get money because they're so desperate for it, or they're just so greedy about it. So you have to be careful of who you donate to. And the thing I always tell people in my streams, like if they want to donate to me or they want to sub to me or whatever, that's fine. But please, for the love of God, make sure you have everything in your life taken care of first. Donating to a streamer, subbing to a streamer, gifting or whatever you want to do to a streamer should be the last thing you do before taking care of yourself, because you know your bills, your food, your gas, your car, everything else in your life must come first before you donate to any streamer for whatever reason. Because how are you supposed to take care of somebody else or help somebody else if you cannot do that for yourself? So everything with a grain of salt. Be skeptical and question everything. Don't take anything at face value, especially when it comes to content creators.
simple proof. What's even more shocking is that her family wasn't really poor. They had 2 cars, a house, 3 apartments, goddammit. Smikalka even got her teeth done for 1,000,000 rubles. Her mother was a general director of a gas company. Like, how come they don't have money for a lawyer? Another weird thing is that this whole trial has been going for 15 months already, and she didn't even get a lawyer? That doesn't add up. The very next day, when Zelim Khan, the guy who called her to offer a helping hand, is on his meetup with Smikalka that they agreed on. He gives her a call and he's asking whether she will be there on time.
Моя мама с адвокатом встречается, типа, ну, получается, наша помощь не нужна. Самый прикол, мы едем в Химки по ее делу, и мы развернулись, уехали. И даже не сказала нам, что... Не знаю, зачем меня тогда просить о помощи, умоляют там.
And she answers that she doesn't need anything anymore. People did some digging and turns out her mother wasn't scamming anyone. She was the scammer. She was getting paid from the government for people that are dead, yet somehow still work in her gas company. When people found out, they were furious.
Give me my money back.
The allegations aren't true. It was a setup.
You should sleep with your eyes open.
You bastard. She didn't do anything.
We can argue that Smikalka didn't know. Like what? Her mother comes in and goes, "Hey honey, I'm scamming the government for a lot of cash. Today I got 1 million for people who are dead." What? Also, this scam was going for 2 generations already. So maybe her mom didn't even know? In my opinion, Smikalka would make way more money in the long run. So this quick cash grab didn't really make sense if it was really a planned setup. I personally think she just wanted to help her mom, although this whole situation does look a little sussy. Her mom, as for now, is serving her time in prison. She got 5 years. After causing a major social media scandal in Russia, Smikalka just left the internet. She wiped her YouTube, Instagram and any other socials she had. Now, from what I've heard, she travels the world and enjoys her life without any appearance online. While Smikalka started on Twitch, our next egir decided to begin her career on an adult website. The decision that would later ruin her career. Leia was open about her past from the very beginning, with claims like,
We broke up and that chapter of my life is closed. I'm not ashamed of who I was, but I've quit for a reason.
Leia made it clear that her past life is over, and now all she wants to do is talk to her tier 3 simps. Despite her eventful past life, her chat was quite civilized, and they respected new Leia. Her persona was a cute gamer girl, who's easygoing, funny, and cares about everyone. And of course some cool anime uwu baiting, because that's the most amount of views. Come on, that's probably the reason why I even clicked on this video anyway. It seemed like Leia's future is bright. But as we know, every rose has its thorn. Because Leia used to spend all her money on clothes, overpriced makeup sets, clubbing, just to come the very next day and cry about how she doesn't even have $2 for a present.
See, I can't, when it comes to people who earn a lot of money, who are famous or rich or whatever, I can't feel a single bit bad for them when they say they don't have a single dollar to spend, or they've run out of money or anything. It's like, I can't feel bad for you. I can't. Because you have all this money. You've earned all this money. And yet you chose to be a dumbass and spend it on frivolous shit. And now you don't have any money to pay bills or get food or do anything that you need to do to sustain living and to have a roof over your head. Why should I feel bad for you? You spent it on makeup, you spent it on clothes, on shoes, on your nails, the manicure, pedicure, all this dumbass shit and that you don't really necessarily need. You spend it excessively on that stuff you don't need. I'm fine if you want to just buy the minimum stuff you need to, you know, just put on a little bit of makeup and make yourself presentable, nice, clean, you know, all that sort of stuff, that's fine. But if you do it in excessive amounts and you do it on a daily or weekly basis, and then you go on your streams almost every time saying you don't have $1 to your name, or you only have a couple bucks left, well, why should I feel bad for you? You made moronic decisions to excessively spend on shit that is not necessary for you to live. Like, if I had that kind of money, the only thing I would spend a lot of money on was to create a gaming room, or gaming or content creation and streaming room. That is it. That's all I would really spend it on. And once I have all that set up, the rest of the money I have would just go to bills and food and gas for when I ever need to go anywhere. I don't really need a bunch of shit. People don't need a bunch of shit, but they tend to excessively spend, and then they complain that they don't have any money anymore. Well, I'm sorry, but society just does not give a shit if you cry about it. It's your own fault. Through no fault of anyone else but your own, you've spent all the money that you have earned.
For her mother, and since first the Sims who built parasocial relationship with Leia kept sending her money, without any second thoughts she carried on using them as cash machines. This scheme worked perfectly, until her viewers realized Leia is not as innocent as she claims to be. One day, when her tier 3 subs tuned into the stream, they were greeted by a familiar face, who was building her a gaming chair that she just got as a present from one of her viewers. It was her ex-boyfriend, who we could remember from Leia's very first videos on adult websites. Wow! Turns out, this whole time he was not so ex as she claimed. For a whole 3
I'm feeling romantical.
years, people were lied to their faces, and rightfully, they weren't happy about it, with comments like,
Here are my last $2. Buy some tissues. So next time I don't have to use my ding-dong to clean from your face like last time.
and
Looks like she wasn't that low on vitamin D after all.
this was the very moment where all the hard work Leia has put into her image started to fall apart. People didn't buy her story no more. If this dude is still here, then her past life isn't over, and she still does record adult videos. Which, in my opinion, is a dumb claim. As I see it, she did stop in the porn industry, but that doesn't mean you have to break up with your boyfriend too. Real life and persona on the internet are very different things.
Yeah, see, it just because you're still with the person that you made videos with doesn't mean you're still doing said videos. I mean, she could have easily she could have done like she said and just, stopped making 18 plus videos, but stayed with the guy, which is perfectly fine.
The only problem here, in my opinion, is lying about being single. So more people would try to take that spot by sending.
Okay, lying about being single, I think is fine. As long as you're not cheating on the person, I think it's fine to lie to your viewers about being single. I don't really see a problem with it. I mean, it's not like you're going out and you're just trying to keep your relationship life private, or you could have gone it through it a better way and told people, I don't want to talk about my relationships, being single or not, and just not allude to being single or being taken, and just leave your relationship life private. I don't really mind if people lie to their viewers about being single, as long as they don't go about trying to get relationships from other people. I mean, there are plenty of other idols or streamers who lie about being single and they have somebody. It's not an uncommon thing.
Sending donations on the internet. But at the end of the day, streams were still the same, and over some time this drama would fade away and nobody would really care. That would happen, of course, if Leia didn't cry about her haters every single stream. She gave way too much attention to them, and instead of moving on, she basically let this situation eat her from the inside. This was very apparent when one of the streamers made a joke about her past on the collab stream.
Блин, короче, Картман, до свидания. Больше с ним никогда играть не буду. Пусть идут в жопу, подлая крыса. Все, короче, это, наверное, последняя моя игра в мафию, дитя.
The past is like an anchor, weighting you down if you cling to it. Pepezilla 2024.
Yeah, the kind of streamers that constantly bring up their past and the drama and everything, it's like, all right, we get it. You've had past drama, you've had past other shit. Stop constantly. If you're trying to move on from something like that, stop constantly bringing it up, and don't bring it into anything else. Move on from it.
This is what Leia couldn't do, accept her past and move on. Instead, she basically cancelled herself and just left streaming for good. Now Leia is doing TikToks, Instagram and adult content again for $10.
I can't take the hate no longer. Today was my last stream. You can now support me by buying my pictures.
I think if Leia just said,
Yeah, I sell my pictures for $10, so what?
nobody would really have a problem. You have dozens of famous people doing the same thing and who cares? You don't really have to stop streaming because of that. Leia just wasn't strong enough to accept her past. If you open up any of her socials today, you can still find comments like "Internet doesn't forget" and "Escaping past won't fix your problems." Today's last digger who was caught lying in 4K is Denley, who went as far as faking goddamn kidnapping to maintain her career on Twitch. But let's start from the beginning. Elizabeth was born on the June of 28th in Moscow. She was an average Joe among girls. She had no idea what Twitch is and what is it for. All she cared about at the time was education, going out with girls, eating borscht, and drinking birch juice, which is super tasty, by the way. You guys have no idea. Basically what I'm saying is she wasn't special in any way. Somewhere at this time she met her future boyfriend Eugene. While Denley wanted to get everyday job, Eugene dreamed big. He was talking money. He had 3 jobs, but that still wasn't enough to satisfy his expectations from life. So he had to think of a great plan how to become rich. And one day, he figured it out. Twitch new meta at the time were honkers. Wait a minute, I get a pair of honkers back home, said Eugene to himself and called up Elizabeth. If they can, why can't Ellie do the same thing? Well, the problem was they didn't even have a computer to begin with. Eugene proposed the idea of streaming to Ellie, to which she answered that she doesn't think it's gonna work. She has never even heard of Twitch, and all that is just waste of time. But Eugene believed so much in his plan that he took out a loan from bank and even borrowed some cash from his homie. The very next day they already had gaming PC.
I don't think it's necessarily a good idea to stream for that sort of reason. You know what? I think people should stream because they enjoy it, not for fame and fortune. It's not a good thing. It can take a toll on you if all you're doing it for is just fame, trying to get famous and trying to get rich, because it's not a stable sort of way to go about your life. I mean, for me, I do all this stuff not for making money or getting famous. I mean, don't get me wrong, it'd be nice. Excuse me. It'd be nice if I can do this for a living, but I don't mind if I never do, because I genuinely enjoy doing this stuff. But just to do it, just to make money is not a good idea to go about this stuff.
PC at their home. Nice camera, good lighting. The guy knew exactly what he was doing. He was also aware of the fact that nobody will donate to a girl who has a boyfriend. The very first month, she already had big donos, regular viewers, and one of those viewers was Luntik, the guy who destroyed Denley's innocence. Luntik was donating $100 here, $500 there, and as expected, they soon became pretty close to each other. Eugene one day had to borrow Denley's computer for work, but what he saw left him speechless.
Oh, you are so hot! Ah!
Stop, you're making me blush.
No, for real. I would do things to you.
Oh, I wish.
Oh, God.
Are you gonna call tonight? I miss you.
Sure, babe.
Love you.
Eugene was angry for obvious reasons, but he felt like that's the business he's in. He talked to Denley, she apologized and promised she won't do it ever again. But none of them had any idea that this is the beginning of Denley's downfall. A few months passed after Luntik incident. Everything seemed fine, but something was different about Denley. She has tasted forbidden fruit and liked it a lot. It was only a matter of time until new Luntik would appear. And of course, he did. This time it wasn't just guy with money. It was also a guy with a lot of followers on YouTube. Justy would get around 1 million views at a time, so Denley would gain big exposure from their so-called friendship. They talked a lot, sent memes, heart emojis to each other, flirted, and after like a week or so, Justy told her he would be coming to Moscow to meet his friends, so if she wants to, they can go on a date. Elizabeth, despite having a boyfriend, likes the idea and agrees. They got some food, hanged out for a bit, and then went to a hotel room. Out of nowhere, hotel phone in their room starts blasting. And on the other side is some super angry dude demanding that Elizabeth goes out for a little talk. Ellie starts to cry and tells Justy that that's her ex-boyfriend. Justy, as a real man, tells her that they will go out and he will talk to them. They do so, and outside they see 3 black cars, 5 big Russian dudes, and him, Eugene, the so-called ex-boyfriend.
Yikes.
3 big guys grab Justy and take him to the side to give him a few punches. While that's happening, he can see how Elizabeth is reacting to one of
Was that Guts? I've never seen the anime, but was that Guts?
those black cars as she's trying to break free. When that's done, they land final punch on Justy and drive off after they just kidnapped Ellie in front of Justy's eyes. He called police, but they didn't do much. However, the very next day, he receives a very strange message. Turns out, when Eugene found out Denley is out with some YouTuber in the hotel room, he called her up and said he will be there in 2 minutes to teach that guy a lesson. Denley panicked, ran downstairs, called him down and suggested they can fake a kidnapping to still make it look like Denley isn't the biggest, dirtiest liar in the world. Eugene felt like his emotions shouldn't stay in the way of their career, and he agreed. They did everything according to the plan, but the very next day he realized he's a cuck with a girl who nearly spent the night with some guy from the internet while he's over here taking care of her socials. So him and Justy made a goddamn 3 hours long video where they exposed Denley. Video from Justy got over 5 million views, and now everyone knows the true story of how ungrateful and evil Denley truly is. Maybe if Eugene was still around, Denley would even stream till this day, because he wrote scripts for her, edited videos, chose what clothes she should wear on the streams, took care of her Instagram, and did everything from A to Z. So if somehow she still held strong and didn't give up after being exposed, she could have done something. But since she took everything for granted, she didn't even know how to set up OBS. And if you bite the hand that feeds you, you might just get cancelled and quit internet. That's what happened to Denley. All of the egirls from this video should be examples for us why lying won't get you far. For more videos like this, sub to my channel, maybe Patreon.
Faking an entire kidnapping, that's just that must have been a hell of a lot of work, but still, why would you want to fake that? That's just horrible. I mean, yeah, the thing is, like you said, it's true. If you don't lie to your audience and everything, you know, nothing will really happen. And she probably could have made it big if she kept staying with the guy, and because he was basically doing everything for you. He was, you know, like you said, he was making the scripts, editing the videos, doing the clothes, all this sort of stuff, all her social media and everything. She probably would have made it quite well if she kept with it, but yeah, she decided to be a dumbass and fake an entire kidnapping. Like, what the hell? And it's not just these 3 people that Pepe Zilla has talked about. There's plenty of other streamers who have canceled themselves through no fault of anyone else's but their own, because they decided to gamble on something big and lie to their audience and just fuck everything up. It's so dumb. But that was egirls who ruined their career in seconds. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe for more. I post 2 to 3 days a week. I hope you enjoy the videos. With that being said, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.